Yes, ma'am. We're live. You may start.
Hello, everyone. A warm good afternoon to one and all. So we are here in this international webinar on from illness to wellness, strengthening mental well-being. And this is the post-lunch session we are approaching. We have already done with 2 panel discussions. We have started from 10 a.m. and it continued in 2 different panels from 10 to 2 p.m. And now from 3 to 6, we are going to conduct our 3rd panel discussion. And we are extremely delighted, honored, and privileged to have with us eminent speakers from India and abroad. I myself, on behalf of SEAM, Council for Educational Administration and Management, West Bengal chapter, a collaborator with Star Scholars in this wonderful webinar. From my behalf, welcome all of you present over here, all the eminent academicians, panelists, and my learned dear friends from India and abroad. I'm really grateful to you for your sparing time, and you have made your mind and time to spend a little thought of your, or spend a little time with us so that we could enlighten ourselves. And also, I would like to mention that the previous 2 sessions were moderated by Azra and Zeba, who also belong to the SEAM fraternity. And I am a little bit scared whether I will be able to, follow their route, because they have moderated so nicely. And Faculty of Education of the Midwestern University, MU, Surkhet, Nepal, has contributed with several responsibilities: Assistant Campus Chief of Central Campus of Education, Chairperson, English Language Subject Committee, Member, Faculty Board of Education Faculty, Secretariat Member, and others in the university from its establishment. He has been teaching postgraduate and graduate students for more than 16 years for professional growth. He has participated and presented in different national and international conferences and seminars. He has published books, research articles, and general articles in various areas of English language teaching, research, and interdisciplinary aspects in national and international journals, and op-eds in different newspapers. He has been coordinating several international projects on behalf of the university. He has visited India, Greece, Italy, France, and Switzerland for academic purposes. He is also a well-known motivational speaker and presented many sessions for students, parents, and social members in Nepal. He is a PhD scholar at present at Chandigarh University, India. So with such a vast experience of teaching and international experiences as well, I would be extremely happy and delighted to welcome you, Dr. Yadu Prasad Gawali, on board. Now over to you.
Thank you, Professor Chakravarti. At the first, I would like to thank for this opportunity for the organizing committee. And this afternoon, I am talking about mindful pedagogy and integrating professional development and mindfulness for teachers. Yes, we have been discussing from the morning different mindful awareness as well as activity-oriented perspectives in different discipline or in different perspectives. Just I want to relate this with the teaching and learning. Just I want to connect this mindful for the classroom purposes, for the learner purposes. Therefore, my presentation includes basically these four parts. And I don't want to spend more time on what is mindfulness. What is mindful? Because there are so many definitions, so many discussions that were held from the beginning. That's why I don't want to spend more time on this. I will spend some time on pedagogical connection, then mindfulness and professional development of the teachers, and what may be the future directions. Basically, mindfulness that is originated in the Eastern philosophy that we believe. This is the part of the Eastern philosophy, especially in the Buddhism. Then after it is developed in the Western perspectives as well. Nowadays, we can find different researches, different perspectives, and different ways of the explanation by the different researchers in Western and in the Eastern part or all over the world. And basically, it is the process. I want to focus that this is a kind of skill. Mindfulness is a kind of skill, and that require two things, that is practice and the patience. Patience and practice are the basic components of the mindfulness, and that is determined or that is guided by our mind, by our thought, by our spirit. Because every beings have the notion of mental behaviors. And these mental behaviors are guided by our practice, by our patience. And similarly, it is discussed that it has the present connection, but it may have the past thoughts and future perspectives, but it focuses towards the present realities. What is now? Where is the things and how is the state now? This is the most important part for the case of the mindfulness. That's why whenever we are connecting to the profession, what am I doing now? How am I going now? These are the most important thing. That's why mindfulness focuses towards the present state of the beings in terms of our attitude. What is my attitude? How I perceive something, how I conceive something, then how I put the attention towards something, then what is my level of awareness? With this general idea, we can connect mindfulness with the research focused strategy. In my understanding, because it arouses the curiosity in learning, it arises the independency in learning, or it creates the situation of ideological interaction by which a person can interact oneself. Like there is intrapersonal interaction we can find. Similarly, it may have the connection with the interpersonal interaction. That's why it is highly connected with ideological interaction also, is guided by the experiences that we get in our life skills. As it is discussed, originated from the Eastern philosophy and developing in the Western as well, then it is a part of the applied psychology, education, and wellness. Like it is related with being healthy. It is related with education. That's why this is not only the concept of the one part, this is the interdisciplinary concept. This concept has been introduced into the different disciplines, though it has more landmark into the applied psychology. Though being the psychological impact, it is advocating to the different fields. That's why here today I'm talking about the teacher's professional development through mindful perspectives. Similarly, this part especially enhance our perspective, our personal perspectives, how I take the things, how I deal with the things, how I behave with the situations. That's why it is connected with the personal behavior and personal responsibilities as well. That's why we can say, we can define, or we can explain the concept of mindfulness with connecting to the self. With connecting to the self, just like we may be developing ourselves with different intelligence perspectives. Like a person has the capacity of different aspects of the intelligence, like cultural intelligence, content-based intelligences, logical intelligence, then similarly, there is the part of the emotional intelligence. And it is highly attached with the emotion of the people. Like this is individualized. Now, like nowadays, we can connect this mindfulness with the individualized learning or with the personalized learning. This is the personification because we go towards the person, how one person can deal with the thing, not only with the things, with the situation, with the realities, with oneself, with others. That's why mindfulness especially focuses on self-exploration. I need to think, I need to explore myself, my experience, and self-transformation. How can I transform myself? I know. If I try to change, if I try to transform myself, I can. But if any other wants to transform me, I think there might be some issues. There might be some problems because that I know how I can deal with the things. Yes, these things need to be circulated or need to be categorized into the classroom perspectives also. And next thing is activeness and awareness of the present moment. Yes, focus to the present. How the present situation is going on, our attention must be there. That's why the message is what the message is. We as a teacher, we need to be aware with the present context. We need to deal with the present situation, how we are dealing with. Do I know the developing technologies nowadays or not? This is my faculty. This is my own part. And if I'm not aware with the current trends, if I'm not aware with the current ideologies, then how can I develop myself? That's why mindfulness is necessary there, to know the present status, to know the present strength. That's why in case of the pedagogical concern, just we know, just we did practice of some meditations, some techniques, we did the practice. I don't want to spend more time on this. Yes, we did the practice of breath, body sensations. And we can cultivate the presence and connection with oneself and the world. Yes, this is very important part. This is necessary for us and for our children, like in school education, like in higher education also. One example, just I want to state over here. We are cultivating knowledge. We are forcing our students to do the things, like just say simple example. We teach the lessons, then at the end we ask, answer the following questions. Answer the following questions, fill out these things. Then by these things, we have to ask ourselves, is there possible to transform what the learners will learn? That's why we need to connect our learners with the world. The world means what? Reality. We need to connect our learner to the society. We need to connect our learner to the culture. That's why this mindful pedagogy especially focus connecting with the culture, connecting with the society, connecting with truth or self-realigned factors. One. That's why we need to create the situation by which learner feel of learning. We need to initiate the condition of feeling of learning rather than learning something. We have to add one vocabulary, the feeling of learning. And this is possible with connecting with the different parameters of the society. Like teachers need to involve themselves in these factors, just like stress management, emotional regulations, considerate classroom. How can I do these things in my classroom? For example, I'm the English teacher, and there might be science teacher, mathematics teacher, and how I deal with the classroom behaviors, how I deal with the learners, how I encourage my learners into the classroom. This depends upon me. Likewise, we can find different terminology, just like mindful, F-U-L-L, mindful, F-O-O-L, mindful, F-U-L. Just we can differentiate with these terms, with these terminologies, and we can identify the situation and we can regulate the activities in the way. That's why it is necessary to every teacher to change the paradigms of doing something in the classroom culture also. For this, for my classroom, for my subject matter, I'm responsible. That's why we can say mindfulness pedagogy is responsible teaching strategies, role-based teaching strategies, teaching with context. Like students, if that happens, students can focus towards their learning and transferring the learning to the society, like well-being. And there might be emotional development of the learners, not only emotional, social, cultural, emotional development of the learners, by then after they can be self-reliant with the options. Similarly, the curriculum need to focus towards the holistic development and self-awareness. Like there might be questions. Sometimes the things are not included in the curriculum, but these are in the curriculum. In my perspectives, there is hidden curriculum. And another thing, just I want to give an example. In our classroom, if we try to integrate soft skill development of the learners, really, this is one of the part that is in my observation. That's why we can develop the contextual and soft skill based, life skill based, and moral value based relations for the learners. Then there will be good practice of self-realization of the learners, because this is for learning for self-realization. If that happens, what happens? We can engage our learners with the positive thoughts. Positive thoughts, because this is our concern. Because mindful pedagogy or mindfulness pedagogy especially focused towards the acceptance of the views. Then acceptance of what? Means acceptance of the reality. With the acceptance of the reality, we can develop bodily sensations. And similarly, we can develop our research behaviors by which learners develop their curiosity within this. And there is the change. And creating happiness and the collaborative forces. Basically, if we engage our learners towards this realization factors, especially I want to connect this with, this is the factor of the practice and the passions, or developing self-realization for the learning. If the learners are realizing, oh, I'm learning the things, this is for me, there is the mindfulness. If learner begin to tell, yes, I'm learning for me, I'm learning for the society, I'm learning for my family, I'm learning for the nation, I'm learning for the globe. Yes, there is the concept of the mindfulness for the learners. Similarly, connecting with cultural and the moral awareness, sympathy, flexibility that we talked, and hidden curriculum practices means what we have, how we deal with the activities. That's why I believe myself that the content may be in one part, but how we deal with the content, or how we focus to the content, or how we are bringing the new things as per the present context are the part of the mindfulness for the teacher's one. Therefore, we need to be clear, we teacher need to be clear with this concept, like how I'm taking my profession, my attitude towards my profession. Yes, what is my attitude towards my profession? This is due to my mindfulness. This is what means this perspective is formed and how I behave myself. That's why there must be change attitude, positive attitude, or the teacher need to think my responsibility is what? This is very important part to determine the pedagogy, to determine teaching learning strategy into the classroom. Similarly, emotional and cultural competencies are very important for the mindfulness activities. We need to create such situation in our classroom by which we can make our learners, we can encourage our learners, we can sympathize our learners. We can develop empathetical environment in our learners. We can develop moral values in the classroom, a self-realization concept in the classroom. That's all. Like integration of mindfulness in professional development opportunities. Obviously, that's how I need to analyze myself. I must have my own SOC analysis. I need to prepare my KWL chart, what I know, what I want to know, what I want to explore other more things. This is my responsibility. Then after I can integrate mindfulness activities in my profession, then I can develop myself. Like similarly, we are developing this like workshop training sessions in mindfulness by which we can discuss ideas in our school with our students in our classroom, and we can break out. Not only this, we can develop these mentoring programs for mindfulness, and we can implement this for the success or for the new practices. And especially by these all dealings, we can develop the collaborative environment and communities for sharing in the mindful practices by which we can introduce the way of learning that we are doing. Just we have to put something into the frame only. That frame means what? Like in short, I want to say that if we integrate soft skills in our classroom activities, really there is the practice of the mindfulness. It's the learner's engagement, empathy, learner's responsibility, and teachers' dealing are very much relevant for this concept. That's why at the end, I want to say that this mindfulness pedagogy, or especially the teacher, need to be highly responsible themselves, and they need to think, what is my profession and how can I deal with the things, deal with the situation, like what is my present context, what is my present situation. Teacher need to put attention on that, not to the past, not to the future, because the future way will be defined by the present activities, and past that can be used for some like developing factors, but not so much focused point of view that we already discussed also. Then we need to improve creativity and innovation, and we have to introduce creative activities into the classroom, innovative activities into the classroom. And we have to be aware with the changing trend of the education, and we must be able to adapt this into the classroom. And we need to create a society of mindful professional development by which we can deal with the different practices, or we can deal with different positive impacts in the society, because our society is going towards the impact. This is very much important part. Like not only outcome, our society nowadays, like the present context is not only looking for the outcome, our present context is looking for impact also. Input, outcome, then impact is the other part. Outcome, output, then impact. This is why means how the person behave in the society, how the person deal with the society. This is the most important part, and we need to change. We need to think. Before change, we need to think about the classroom dynamics and what might be the transformative tools, and this mindfulness activities need to be taken as the transformative tools into the classroom, by which our students, basically it will focus to make them responsible for learning, and they may create the situation of feeling for learning by which they will be the mature learners. That's why with this present context, we need to think, every teacher, it is the time to think about the learners, about oneself, about society, and about the global impact, by which if we can engage the learners, and not more than this can be one of the engagement tool for the learners, and we can engage the learner into different activities in the classroom. Yes, the learners will be integrating different dynamisms of learning parameters. That's why at the end of the presentation, I want to focus that it may reduce, this kinds of pedagogy may reduce the stressing environment into classroom, and it will develop the professional culture and cultural competence in the sense every learner can develop their healthy lifestyles, self-care, and they can see their future themselves. With the notion of the present status, they can see the future themselves. Thank you very much. This is all from my part.
Thank you, Dr. Yadu. The topic was so new, so innovative, so engaging, and so interesting. I'm running short of words, really. It is a very new concept, and I think this might be the subject of your PhD as well, if I'm not wrong. Is it so? Am I right?
I'm just connecting one part, like I'm making the sister project for my PhD this, especially
Okay.
I'm talking of the professional development and technology, and I'm connecting this also.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, it is very new for us. I think most of the participants will agree with me, and the way you have connected how the general practices, means the practice of mindfulness that we should do at home, or might be in the yoga clubs or kind of places, how this could be connected to teachers, and therefore it will flow off to the students, and how that will that could get connected with the pedagogical approaches, and how what are the different activities even to enhance mindfulness in the teachers. I felt very interesting. And in your last slide only, I found that you have tried to connect creativity with mindfulness. So I would like to make myself more clear, like how would you relate these two things? Like we have in the educational psychology, there is a chapter called creativity, and there is a very general topic, we all have gone through it, like methods of nurturing creativity in school children. So now just with referring to that part, like how would mindfulness help in nurturing creativity in school children? I'm very eager to listen to this.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for the question. Especially creativity is the important section for learning for every children. And like whenever we see the trend of the like school education or in the higher education, our students are highly dependent to these curricular factors, or like to the textbooks or the material that they are provided, not more than this. But we need to create the environment first. For example, like suppose I'm the teacher, I'm teaching global warming. Like there are 30 students in my class, and I'm teaching global warming. Rather than defining the global warming, I can ask my students, prepare a poster on global warming. Yes, what's your understanding? Prepare a poster on global warming. Just like another thing, go to the next, like the seniors classroom, and collaborate themselves. Like how can we develop, or how can we just tackle with this global warming situation? This means one part is like poster development, their individual task. Next task might be their group work they can do within their classroom. Next might be collaborative work with their seniors, and similarly the collaboration with the parents. We can ask them, go ask with your parents what the global warming is. And similarly, we can ask them, nowadays our students are very much fast in the technology. For example, if I get any problem in my mobile phone, I do ask with my daughter, here is the problem, please fix it. Yes, I do ask with daughter, I do ask my sister, I do ask my brother. This means what? They are a bit quick. Then we can ask them, just look for, go to these sites. We can give them some sites, go to these sites and find out how can we this. This means what? Self-exploration. We can develop this self-exploration, just like researching activities from the beginning also. And similarly, because this is why means we need to create the positive and inclusive environment to do these different kinds of activities inside of the classroom or outside of the classroom also. And next important thing is how the teacher behave with the students, how the students behave, their rapport or their relationship. By this thing we can define, we can just like determine different activities. Just I cannot say the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, these activities, because the activities might be related with critical thinking, might be related with group work, group discussion, like such panel discussions, some creative activities, or that may be determined by the context, but they may be revealing with just like their positive thoughts, like their self expression strategies, and like which may be supporting their like emotional well-beings also. I think so, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, you have really enlightened me. But again, I would like to add something to it. Whether I'm correct or not, it's up to you. You're there to correct me. Like mindfulness gives a calmness. Practicing of mindfulness gives calmness to mind. So could we relate this in such a way, like if the mind becomes calm, acceptive to everything, tolerant. I'm talking about school children only, considering, the children's mind is always, hovering around and flowing here and there kind of thing. So practicing of mindfulness gives that calmness, and that calmness gives them tolerance, and that tolerance helps them to work out things, activities, projects, assignments, and that finally, with a calm mind, if we do something, of course, the output will be better, and it will result in good and better achievement. So, would you approve my way of thinking, my flow of thinking?
Obviously, ma'am. Obviously,
Thank you.
I accept.
I
I
really
accept.
wanted to. I really wanted to understand this mindful pedagogy. It is new to me, and I'm really happy that I'm able to understand, and it's approved by the teacher, Dr. Yadu. So anyway, thank you so much for focusing on this wonderful topic. Now it's time to move on to our fourth speaker. And let me please confirm with Dr. Charu that are the two speakers present over here?
For all the members as part of them, and Professor Dr. Shashi Kumar, who's the president of SEAM organization. So I hope that we meet, and we don't just meet for webinars, but we come out with some productive ideas which can be implemented and has an impact, right? And that's what I think as a human being, that who knows when you breathe the last, right? And then at least you leave something which the world feels happy about, and they can take while you're not there. So thank you, so grateful. Thank you again to everyone.
Thank you so much, Charu, and thanks everyone, Kimini and Yadu. It's very nice to meet you all, and I hope we stay connected.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll make
absolutely.
sure.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So can we just leave? Thank you, Yadu. Thank you, Pankaj.